Yeah, absolutely. Don't you love that shirt? You have to remember, don't bite your finger when you're eating some of these ribs here in New Haven at Ricky D's Rib Shack. Right now, I want to introduce you to the man behind the magic. Ricky, good morning to you.
Good morning, how are you?
So we are diving right into fan favorites here.
Yep.
And first off and foremost, the ribs. Talk a little bit about it and let's get folks to see some of the food.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we got a full slab of ribs. We're definitely known, one of the things we're known for are our ribs. We season the ribs with our homemade Canzalana dry rub. We smoke it on the smoker for about 250 degrees for about 3 hours, depending on the sizes of the ribs. We top it off with our homemade Canzalana barbecue sauce and fall off the bone to die for.
Oh, I can't wait to try it. All right, let's dive right into this, Ricky. All right, you're going to take it out of here.
All right.
We're going to put it on this slab.
Yep.
All right, walk me through this. So what is the dry rub is already on this?
Yeah, so we've already seasoned it with the dry rub. You can actually get the ribs sauce on the side or sauce on the ribs.
Okay.
So part of our prep process when we season the ribs, we season it with our Canzalana dry rub. And then when a customer comes in and order a full slab of ribs, this is pretty much the process that we do.
All right, and so how can they order this? So I'm not, one to order ribs all the time. So
Right.
half rack, how does that work?
Right, so you can come down here, you can order your ribs by the quarter slab, half slab, or full slab.
Slab, that's what they call
Yep,
it.
so
Okay.
the quarter slab has 3 bones in it, the half slab has 7 bones in it, and then the full slab is about 12 bones.
What do people love about your homemade barbecue sauce?
You know, a lot of people said it reminded them back at home or a personal event. They love the ribs. They love the flavor of the meat, the flavor of the sauce, the tenderness of the meat that's on the ribs. You know.
Now this started as a food truck, your business. This was about 10 years ago. Now you've been in New Haven for about 7, is that correct?
Yep, about 7 years we've been here. This summer it'll be 7 years.
And when folks come here, they try your ribs, your brisket and your pulled pork, which is over there. You have the mac and cheese too, which we're going to dive into in the later hours. Talk a little bit about what folks, kind of their reaction when they try your food.
You know, when they first come down here, they've heard about us, but they haven't had a chance to get down here themselves. So it's almost like there's a wall up at first, but then as soon as they come in, they smell the barbecue in the air. They listen to the music. They get the good barbecue vibe, almost like a cookout type vibe. They come down here, they place their order, they sit down, they enjoy their meal, and they're sold.
All right, I'm going to try this. Tim and Erica, we'll send things back over to you because my hands are about to get a little messy. Oh, that's good. Ooh, it's sweet. Oh, it's so good. You can taste that. This is very good. It's quite literally falling off the bone. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Now I need a napkin. You know, Tim and Erica, I think my photographer was happy that I didn't get my microphone all saucy when we were talking about ribs this last time. Now we're turning our attention to a bit of brisket, which is one of my favorites, so I'm really excited about that. Let me introduce you to Ricky this morning. Ricky, good morning to you.
Good morning.
And, you know, I want folks to know who you are, too. And I was kind of reading some of the paper clippings on your wall this morning. Really cool story. You didn't start off in the restaurant business, but 10 years ago you said, I'm going to do that. Why did you start this business here?
You know, I just got to the point to where, like, I'd much rather enjoy going to a cookout or going to, cook on the grill, a fun environment, setting, instead of going into the office. So long story short, I ended up putting my notice in at the job that I was working at, and then I bought a food truck, and that's how I started 10 years ago.
Pretty incredible, and you're also encouraging young folks, entrepreneurs too, during this time too, which is awesome. All right, let's get to the food. All right, let's talk about the brisket that you have going on here and talk a little bit about what else is going into this dinner.
All right, so what we're about to make now is a brisket dinner. I would say that this is probably
Ooh, look at that.
the most popular menu item that customers order.
That looks good.
Yep. And this brisket, we smoke it at 210 degrees for about 14 hours, 13 to 14 hours, depending on the size of the brisket.
All right, now walk me through. Okay, what did you call that? The sides, Freddie? The bark
Right.
on this brisket. I'm trying to get my lingo up on barbecue. Okay,
Right,
so all right, so the bark on this looks very charred, looks very good, crisp. Now this is obviously you are smoking this for how long?
Yeah, 210 degrees for about 14 hours. The bark that you're referring to, most people know it as burnt ends. And, you know, we get a lot of people come in and ask for burnt ends.
All right, smothering that in your homemade
Homemade Canzalina barbecue.
Canzalina barbecue sauce, which has a little bit of that vinegary taste from the Carolinas,
Yep.
and that the tomato
Yeah,
taste
the
from
nice
the
and sweet-
Kansas.
Yeah, nice and sweet flavored sauce, like Kansas City is known for. And then we added, you know, some vinegar in there, kind of like the Carolinas. This right here, we're complementing the brisket with a side of collard greens,
Yep.
and we put beef brisket in the greens, not pulled pork.
Beef
So-
brisket in the greens, okay.
Yep.
And then this is your mac and cheese as well. Talk a little bit about this. What is this known as? This is one of your dinner options that folks can come in, and what is the price point on this?
Yeah, so this is a dinner. Retails at about $17 and change plus tax. This mac and cheese right here, we make our own mac and cheese, and trust me, this is not no cheese sauce. We cutting up the blocks of cheese, and we're putting it in the elbows, and yeah,
Amazing.
so it's the real thing.
All right.
And then
Sorry, Freddie.
for every dinner comes with one meat, two sides, and a piece of cornbread. And then
All
we just
right.
add our little piece of cornbread right here.
All right.
This
Oh my
right
gosh,
here.
that looks amazing. Okay, I'm gonna try a little bit of everything. Tim and Erica, we're gonna send things back over to you. Okay. Okay. All right. That gets a plus for the mac and cheese. It's very creamy. All right, now let's try this. This is actually, I think, my first time trying this. Oh, that's very good.
Yeah, got a nice little pop.
Not bitter. Very good. You can taste that. Okay. Now the brisket. This is my favorite one. All right, Tim and Erica, I'm getting a wrap as I stuff my face. Back to you. The bark has bite. Don't eat your fingers here, although you might want to with all the sauce that kind of gets on your fingers from this amazing barbecue sauce that they have here. Now, I want to mention before we begin and dive into what we're talking about that they're open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 8 p.m. And I want to mention that because I don't think we've done that in the last couple of hours. So I want to introduce you to Ricky. He's been with us all morning long. Ricky, we are talking about something that I've been excited for, the baked potato.
Right.
The infamous baked potato.
Right.
Talk me through it. Walk me through it. What are we talking about here?
Well, the baked potato is definitely a fan favorite. You know, it's really delicious. It's almost a meal in itself. You know, it comes with the salt, black pepper, butter, sour cream, shredded cheese, and then you can top your baked potato off with whichever meat you like. The beef brisket, pulled pork, chopped chicken, smoked turkey, and yeah, and then we top it off with our homemade barbecue sauce. And
That
then
homemade
voila.
barbecue sauce. All right, this is already done for us, but we're gonna actually make one ourselves. So let's get right into it. So the cheese is already ooey gooey and melted. You can see that here. We're gonna top that off with some pulled pork a little bit later. But all right, we're walking us through this.
Just slice that right on open. Take your salt. We mix our salt and the black pepper together. You know, just kind of, you know, sprinkle it over
Yeah.
there a little bit.
A little dabble, do you there?
All right, a little drizzle.
Yeah.
We got some butter.
Melt
Boom.
that.
Probably put two of those.
You can never have too much butter,
much
in
butter,
my
yeah.
opinion. Okay. Some sour
Then you
cream.
take some of this sour cream, set the sour cream on there like so.
And then this all goes in the oven and melts underneath the cheese before
Yep.
you top it off with the rest of the meat and the barbecue sauce.
Exactly. And then I got some shredded cheese right here.
Yep.
Put a nice little portion right on top.
Okay. All right,
Just
and you're
sit
going to throw that in the oven?
Yep, I'll sit it
Okay.
right on here. I'll take this.
He's going to pop that in the oven.
Just to get that cheese.
Just to get that
Melt and
cheese melted. Yep.
caramelize and-
All right, so let's cut this. We have about a minute left, and, you know, I want to try this.
Yep, so This right here is the pulled pork.
Oh, look at that. All right, 30 seconds.
Just get a nice little amount.
Yeah.
Chop
Look
it
at
up.
that chop. I already have my fork in hand.
You can take the pulled pork, put a nice little topping on it like that, and then hit it with the sauce.
And you said this is a meal of itself, so while I stuff my face, this is a fan favorite. Whoa, look at the cheese! Look at all of that. Ooh, I want to get all of it. The sour cream. Tim, Erica, back to you. I think this might be my favorite. And you can get this as a meal. So this might be my favorite. What I love about it is the sour cream underneath the cheese. Well, I can say that my heart is full and my belly is full too here at Ricky D's Rib Shack in the Elm City. Ricky, thanks so much for having us at your restaurant this morning. We have talked about the brisket, we've talked about the ribs and the potato with the pulled pork. Why do folks love coming here? You really have talked a lot about that family atmosphere, and I really can tell that without even people being here that this really is somewhere that a great time for families to come.
Right. I think people love coming here because of the vibe, the energy, and then when they get a chance to try the food, then it's like, almost like a cherry on top, and we try to deliver every time a customer comes in here to make sure that the product is right, the service is right, the music is right, the vibe is right.
And in addition to that, you are recreating the wheel, reinventing the wheel with this new app. Talk a little bit about that. And this is you're one of the only restaurants that I've seen doing something like this.
I had to say that it started, during COVID. I saw my daughter, her name is Kyla, and she was playing this restaurant game on her iPad, and I thought it was pretty cool. But then I'm like, hey, these people don't have a real restaurant. They're just developers. I ended up deciding to create a replica. I ended up putting a team of developers together, and now customers are able to download the gaming app, serve customers in the game, earn Shack coins, get on the leadership board. You can go to the store, upgrade your menu with in-app purchases, and your avatar. The other avatar is Kyla. It's actually my daughter, so she loves when people download, purchase her in-app purchase. So
I love that. I was actually wondering who that other fun was in the little screen grab there when I was checking it out. Now, not only that, but folks can also, in addition to playing the game, they get a benefit from downloading and subscribing too here from the restaurant.
Right. Yeah, we just rolled out a program. We call it the Subscribe and Save program. Customers can, we offer 3 packages, a bronze, silver, and a gold. So, for example, if a customer wants to subscribe for the gold package for $9.99 a month, you get 20% off each order, every time you order.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, that is such a cool concept. Go to where can you download it?
You can go to the website,
okay.
RickyD'sRibShack.com, or you can download the Rib Shack game in the App Store. It's available in Apple and Android.
Perfect.
And you can subscribe and save.
Great. Download that app, come here, get 20% off, 10% off, whatever you decide, and try these amazing foods. But in the Elm City, I'm Rachel Piscitelli, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station. Guys, back to you.